Hello, welcome back to Magic with Melly. It's me here, Melly, and you guys are magic. So I am here to help you guys keep on, keep going. I believe I'm feeling overwhelming energy from the collective. Maybe you guys are going through a lot of things that are just overwhelming in general. Some changes that you've implemented, and now you're seeing the ripple effect, the repercussions of, when you make a decision, and then for some, when you make a decision and then decide against it, and then change your mind again and change your mind, you're seeing some chaos. So I definitely feel like y'all are resonating with just becoming a hermit, isolating, taking yourself out of the situation altogether, escaping. I'm hearing the word escaping. I'm hearing the word need to figure things out. Need to figure things out. The Hanged Man. I think that we are at a standstill, maybe because of how we feel certain things just can't move forward. I don't know what's going on specifically there in the collective, but we will get down to it. And I have I have some tarot. I have pre-shuffled oracle, not very many, because I really want to focus on telling your story to this day. And mind you, if you're coming to this reading later on, this reading is meant to be fulfilling in a divine timing kind of notion. So whenever you're finding it, it's meant for you. So if you are not finding it around the upload time, that's okay too. I welcome you here no matter when, where, how, boy, girl, both, married, single, wherever you are at in your journey. I trust that the messages are coming out in a way that will be beneficial for everyone. We are loved, protected, and respected here in the collective, and we will hold that true in our hearts. We trust that and banish away any negative spirits from this reading. We do not welcome them here. We excuse them as respectfully as possible. We want the messages for the highest good of all. And so, with that being said, openly, I'm going to get out some messages for the collective. What do I need to see in order to know their story for the collective? How can I help out the collective this Thursday? I need to kind of know a little bit about their story. Spirit, tell us what's going on. So first out, someone's been left out in the cold. I think when it comes to feelings, I think that's what's overwhelming, or even stress. It doesn't have to be feelings for another person, but just how you feel is overwhelming. It could be an overwhelming of stress. It could be overwhelm of being happy, overwhelm of being sad, depressed, just a overwhelming of a specific emotion, so much that you want to kind of cower away. You're kind of afraid. I think some of us in the collective feel worried about reciprocation or something fitting, because this Five of Pentacles here is a lot about really feeling left out. I think some of us struggle with feeling included, whether it's in your workspace, in your family space, amongst friends. I just saw 422, so that may be very significant in just realizing yourself as feeling this way. You don't have to feel this way. You could start over. You can start or reignite connections if you feel called to them. I just saw 442, so that's interesting that it's strengthening, there from with just the numerology. I know that we're progressing in the video, so obviously so, but with the full card coming out and then behind it, I think well, I was gonna say I think we're definitely seeing the Four of Swords reversed. So your time of rest and rejuvenation is teaching you so many things. It's teaching you a lot of things. A lot of the weights of the past is ending. A lot of baggage that you're carrying is being like shed. I think that maybe you're having a ripple, like a shadow effect of this, of like, because we've been working on this in the collective, releasing baggage, releasing those that carry too much baggage, attachment, detachment. I think we're attempting to learn a lot about how to release what's not for us and how to go towards like what is for us and manifest and strengthen our magic. With this 10 of Wands here as the back of the deck energy, I'm just encompassing this to be more so about the release, right? And then letting go, walking away, and it feels good. It feels good, but it's uncomfortable. To feel good. Some of us in the collective resonate with that, where it's uncomfortable to feel good. And so what do? Go back to what you're used to, and that could be pain, that could be addictive behaviors. If you want to be successful in your situation, try your new energy for a run. Like, actually try it and follow through. I'm hearing follow through. You have it. You have it. There you go on you have it. 10 of Pentacles. And then what flipped in here? 7 of Cups, but reverse. All right, guys. It's concerning, the 7 of Cups reverse is concerning choices. Yeah. Okay. The Devil. We have the 6 of Pentacles reverse, King of Pentacles, and the Death reverse. There's been a lot of choices based off of imbalance. I'm going to put these away though, because we're not going to focus on that. We're not going to focus on negative things or bad habits or even old stuff. Okay, that's stuff of the past. We're worrying about our future, and even worrying about our future, we're trying to reduce that and be in the present. All right, because look, the 5 of Cups reverse, being here in the present. That's what we need. We need to be here in the present. Spirit. What else do they need to hear? Knight of Swords reverse, the Sun reverse, 8 of Cups reverse. Refusal to learn your lessons when things, like refusal to learn, not necessarily like your lessons, but learn like your emotions, what triggers your emotions, or even what they are, could maybe minimize a lot of war. I think this Knight of Swords reverse is, especially next to this 8 of Cups reverse and the Sun reverse. I don't like seeing the Sun reverse. That is very dark, empathic. That's very dark energy. We need to return back to like turning our light back on, essentially, like because with the Sun reverse, I feel like this, with argumentation, that you don't feel like the sun's going to come out. I feel like that's the reverse. You don't feel like maybe sometimes you don't feel like wanting to wake up tomorrow. That's some really heavy dark energy that I'm not going to tap more into, but you don't deserve to feel that way. You don't deserve to feel this Sun in reverse. You deserve to feel warm. You deserve to feel the love. You deserve to feel, for some of you in the collective, you deserve to have your child around more often. You deserve to have a child if you've been having infertility issues. There's so much out there, as far as options in your situation, more than you can, than you are allowing yourself to see. I'm hearing you need to illuminate some solutions allow yourself access to information towards solutions. Maybe you don't know enough about something, therefore you are just rooting it out because you're afraid. Get yourself out of the darkness. Protect this journey you're about to go on, and begin to make a choice and stay solid with it. Make a choice and protect that choice. Protect whatever that means for you. So if that feels like your story, I'm going to move into some oracle cards that will hopefully highly benefit you guys. So this card says humility. It says you have developed the loving awareness that you and everyone else are the same but on different paths. I think some overwhelming emotions may occur because you see someone's chapter 20, someone's chapter 10, and you're only at a chapter 2 or chapter 4, and you're like, well, you just have to kind of see yourself and be like, like chuckle and be like, well, I was kidding myself for holding so much hate towards that person. I'm just jealous that I'm not where they are. Just laugh at yourself and be like, and let that go, and realize that you could be there too. And as somewhere down the line, when you're on your chapter 20, someone in their chapter 2 is going to be doing this, somewhat humiliating thing because they're jealous, because they're not where you're at. And then once they're where you're at, the connection, it will kind of like, there's going to be more of a greater purpose or a greater link. Mentors, teachers, students. The last reading I heard grasshopper, like that's all significant, as far as there's always like, everyone's the same but different, and on the same but different kind of a path. Like everyone just wants to be happy, right? Everyone wants to reproduce to some degree, and it doesn't have to be reproducing of children. It could be reproducing like a product. You could be making a product. You could be making a business. Like reproducing doesn't have to mean making children. We term that towards children because we want humans as a species to move on. But for you as an individual, reproducing doesn't have to mean that. It on a more individual level, it could mean building a business. It could mean basing, like, using how you feel, right? We're talking about an overload or overwhelming, like seeing your plate and like, finishing what you've served yourself. I think essentially could be what the message is here, especially with humility. Like, are you serving others? Like, what are you serving others? Make sure you serve yourself what you're serving others, and see if you, is it sweet? Is it salty? Like, are you bitter? Are you, like, how are you really doing? Question that when you feel overwhelmed. How are you really doing? And then, like, kind of see what things you can really let go of. Is this adding stress to my life? XYZ. Like, really find your placements there. Like, as far as energy goes, it could be an energy as subtle as scrolling through the internet, and you find yourself like frowning, and like really see, like, is it because you have an internal thing with that person? It could be that, and then it could be compound, right? If you have that energy to a minor degree, then imagine like the ripple effect it has that you don't even realize. It could be where you like work situations where you're always complaining about your boss, and then suddenly you're like, you hate your boss, and like then your boss is like, what, like, maybe your boss doesn't necessarily have warrant for hate, but you just sit and complain all the time that you're seeing them in the eyes of hate. So that was a whole tangent there, but maybe y'all needed to hear it. We have the card integrity. You demonstrate the truth and honesty of your soul and manifest love with your every action. I think I went on this whole tangent with work because I think there's this overload of always talking about work, or always, like there's no boundary with certain things. Maybe that's why you feel so stressed, because you don't let go of work when you're at home. Integrity, demonstrating the truth and honesty of your soul and manifest love with your every action. I think integrity is a really important card to come out at the time of talking about that, because truth and honesty of your soul is like, if you want to relax, then actually relax. Like actually find yourself the means to relax. um if you are, wanting to relax and then finding yourself at something that would be stimulating, like watching an action movie, watching a movie, yeah, that could be relaxing, but then if the movie of choice is actually an action movie or violent, then is that really relaxing? Like, actually be truthful, um like on a cellular level of like, is this good for me or bad for me right now? And it's fuller context and a bigger picture. The bigger picture does matter, and the smaller details do matter too. Excuse me. And empathy, this card says, you feel and understand the emotions of another in the service of love. Tapping into empathy here could be why, or like understanding empathy could be how you may notice where the overload is even coming from. Because if it's not even your overload, you can still feel it if you are an empath. Because you will connect to someone, how someone's feeling, someone's thoughts, if you're connecting to someone's energy. So I think the beautiful thing of knowing about empathy is there's so much to unpack there with empathy. And if you have it, if you can actually pick up emotions, like you see someone crying and then you can also cry as well, and not like you're forcing it, like it just happens. And maybe even someone's not even crying, but they are feeling something on the inside, and your way of expressing is suddenly you're crying. Like, there's all sorts of indicators that, like, if someone's going through something and you are also feeling like you're going through it, that's an empathic thing. And so sometimes the overload is just because you've taken obviously more than you can handle, because it's someone else's energy, someone else's problem, someone else's all of their stuff. Some of you are taking this in willingly, and some of you are not taking it in willingly and need to maybe understand more about yourself, understand more about this empathy thing. You could look up the term empath. You could look up the term gifts, psychic gifts. It, it could be opening up a whole new world if you don't even know that you're an empath. You feel and understand the emotions of another in the service of love, especially when you feel connected to them, especially when you care about them. You feel it more intensely. And so if someone's going through hurt, you may feel their hurt, especially when they express it. If someone loves you, and when they express it, you will also, like, it will come out, come out feeling so strong, and you'll know it with your being, whether they were telling the truth or not. This empathy, like, I feel like a lot of our empaths in the collective get gaslit for actually knowing the truth, speaking the truth, and like, then whoever they're speaking the truth to, integrity, like a lot of integrity, this word is meant to validate those in the collective, that you do hold integrity, you do hold the truth. If this is you, probably you're resonating with, like, the overload of emotions could be that, this whole cycle of maybe needing to understand that you're an empath, or understanding that you're even getting manipulated or gaslit. I'm not saying that's for everyone, but empaths are highly susceptible to being gaslit, to being like emotionally manipulated because it's so clear that we connect to other people, like to other people when it's happening. um and so it's just it like we're so easy to spot because of our the ability to be able to connect. And so that could warrant a lot of targeting. That could warrant, if you are if it's easy for you to connect with other people, then you might have a lot of people who love you and admire you, even, or even are inspired by you. If that is all true, then there's going to be equally as much as there may be people who admire you, there's going to be some people who like don't have that and are trying to figure that out for themselves, and they project sort of this negative internal thing onto you, and they come out as haters. They come out as the evil eye, jealousy, all these funky energies, and I think we pick up on that. That's where the overload comes from. You could detach. I think that's with the back of the Hanged Man, with like how to make decisions in this energy. We have the Hanged Man, right? And so it's like, go to your hermit mode. Go back to your basics. Go back to, like, I'm hearing man cave. I'm hearing like a lady's little luau. I don't know, like some like self-care. If you feel like you need friends, go to your friends. If you are wondering if you can trust your friends, then give yourself the space from them to let them show up however they're going to, or if they never do, then there you go. But if you like, you need the space. Give that to yourself. Some people, maybe it's then that you'll see the true colors that you've been, not allowing yourself to see. I think you get the most clarity when you can meditate and be like by yourself, and even like truly care and like learn how to truly care and truly love yourself. That's something that we have to sort of frame and structure and build and strengthen every day. I'm still framing it, and like I still have the blueprints, and everyone's on their own journey with that. Um, it's going to be interesting, because everyone's like routine is going to hold different priorities. You understand the paramount importance of manifesting love in all situations. Yes. I think the lesson card is infuse love into your priorities, into the important things, and you can choose what those things are. Is your personal life more important than your business life? At this time, and they can switch. Your business life can be more important than your personal life for a temporary amount of time because of maybe a bigger picture. Again, priorities, everyone has a different set of them because not everyone has kids. You may have kids in the picture, and some may not have kids in the picture. So, of course, kids would be higher up or lower on the list for some. I'm not going to hold judgment for different types of parents. That's not on me to say in the channel. But with the priorities, everyone has their like list of what's important and what order they come in. And so I think some of you be big mad, big upset if you're not the top of a priority for someone else all the time. Maybe you feel overwhelmed when you don't feel like a top priority. This could be a lesson for some about like figuring out this thing with priorities. If you are or if you or your person may be seeing someone in the eyes of like, why am I, like, in this example specifically, why am I not their priority? Restructure that, like reframe that, like see yourself as not putting yourself first, by noticing all these other people and not putting you first. Well, it starts with you. You weren't putting yourself first. So now you're noticing when everyone else is doing it. And that could be the same thing with love and hate. If you love yourself, you'll be able to see all the people who love you, and you'll be able to deny all the people who hate you so much easier. And then if you hate yourself, then it'll be so easy to see all the negative stuff. And you'll very much so neglect, refuse, anything that's loving towards you, or you'll question it to some degree. So like really see these things with priorities, empathy. And this last card, self-love. You realize that love of self is necessary to love another. I was just speaking on that. These next cards are angel cards. So if you needed an angel to show up, these angels wanted to show up for you in these readings, in this reading. And so for further guidance, maybe you can connect with them in your personal time, or connect with the terminology or the colors, or even look into their storylines. It could be beneficial for you. It could be a boost. But this, or even the numbers, if you wanted to look into the numbers as well, that could help too. So we have the numbers 23. So you could look into the numbers 2, 3, or 5. This angel their name is Melchizedek. I hope I am pronouncing that right, because these names are ancient and sacred. So I'm shaking. So hopefully I said that right. They're definitely present with us here today, and they encourage studying, spiritual development, and law of attraction. So you're welcome to look into these terminologies. I think they could be of importance, especially law of attraction. If you are feeling overwhelmed in how you feel, or if you feel overwhelmed by like just how much you want something to happen, law of attraction, looking into how law of attraction works, is about being detached from how much you want it, which doesn't really make sense, but it does. Like it makes sense, but it doesn't, because it's like you need to release it in a way. So like in a way that's like trusting of the universe, right? So that's this thing with spiritual development, understanding that like you developing your spiritual, like your connection with, like your understanding with how law of attraction works, like studying how your universe works for you, and even how you would term, like put a vocabulary to it, because some people identify with angels, some of you may not identify with angels. That's why I say you may identify with the numbers, you might identify with the colors, or even the terminology. Even if you don't believe in angels, I recommend just looking into it, just to, if you're interested in it or called to, then you're welcome to. No one's gonna stop you. And if it is, it's yourself, because someone else told you to stop, that doesn't mean you necessarily should or have to. And that obviously excludes very, very awful people. We're talking about the highest good and like being loving, and so anyway, I just don't want someone being like, what about rapists, Melly? And I don't want that in my comments. Obviously I did not mean that, but of course with the, like, we need to understand boundaries, and with some things with studying, of course you should never say no to studying and understanding more about yourself and more about other people and more about love. This is the context I'm talking about. So no one's gonna stop you from, wanting to know more. It's actually very hot, very attractive if you want to know more. So if you're doing that, you're already on track. If you're not, it's okay, because you're here and we're trying to put you back on track. So we have Archangel Raphael, and this card says intuition, health, and healing. And so I love that Archangel Raphael came out, because he is one of the card's green, so the heart chakra. He's very helpful for healing the heart chakra, which is like operating from a healthy heart just is just beneficial for your overall well-being. So if you need some heart healing, he's here for you. You could tap into more energy there. The number 2 could be significant. The green, anything to do with healing, that's there. This card here is 16. It is the Archangel Metatron. It says spiritual power, esoteric wisdom, and sacred geometry. So esoteric wisdom is all about, like, you know, tapping into divinatory means of finding answers, or even like using tarot cards and oracle readings, even having a tarot card reader who will read your situation frequently if you need to, or even just meditating and connecting to the spiritual power directly. Sacred geometry would be what to look for if you see it maybe on other people, if you see it on in artwork, if you are seeing it, you could just really tap into sacred geometry. Is infused in nature for one, and infused in like the things that we draw from in nature. Such would be like crystals, and like we see sacred geometry, like we draw it and we depict it, and it's all just, we're inspired by nature. So Archangel Metatron, if I'm hearing, if you'd like to connect with Archangel Metatron, perhaps going back into your spiritual power, you know, tapping into, if you want to tap more into your spiritual power, you can connect with Archangel Metatron and say, you know, like, Archangel Metatron, please help me, you know, be more intuitive into, like, tap into the wisdoms that are available to me. And you could be out in nature and connect to more than just these angels. You can connect to your personal ones as well. If you have any like past loved ones, any ancestry you would like to hear, they would like to hear from you, and I'm sure you would love to hear from them. Action. This card says, I step into my glorious future with determination and power. The card says, purification. My energy field is being cleansed of all that I do not need. Back on decision making, right? Making that decision and like sticking with it. Things that do not belong will really show themselves as a blockage, a negative thing, some sort of thing in the middle of arguments. Like, whatever those things are, if they are a person, if they are a place, if it is a thing, a hobby, like, again, if you make a decision, the things surrounding that decision will kind of show themselves as, will, like, they will fit or not fit. I think your overwhelm could come from being attached to things that don't fit anymore, or like, you know, I'm hearing some like save for later kind of energy, because that does happen with some singles, where you know, there was an interest and then it kind of didn't work out, and then like it's just kind of like this weird, they're still connected to you kind of thing. So that could be some singles relationship issues with the overload. There's too many people involved, could be that. Purification, again, it doesn't have to be that for everyone in the collective, but again, if you make a decision, the things that fit or don't fit will start showing themselves. So if you're really attached to a way that something was, or how a situation was, like however that should be worded, it's gonna give you this purification is gonna give you a hard time. But you need to kind of learn this lesson as like, you got to see your decision all the way through, or if you back out, then you're going to have like some funky purifying going on, because you're going to be like halfway in one decision and halfway in another decision, and then you need to clean up that decision and then clean up the other halfway decision, and then when you make a clear decision, and stick with it, this purification thing is going to go kind of more smoothly. You'll actually be able to transmute and transfer and translate, transformation. That word, all the changes that are needed will apply if you just let yourself detach to how things should be or how you expect things to be. Just I personally have a hard time going with the flow. I know this. I've had so many tears and so much like just like so much struggle from just like not being able to go with the flow. But it's like, make a solid decision. Don't go halfway. You know, see the situation ripple out. Let karma play out. Let things play out. Let the story play. There's gonna be a situation, that self-realization of it was me or him, or we were always meant to be, like some funky, crazy, awesomely romantic thing, and maybe it was the exact ending that you want, or it's not the ending that you want. You can rewrite it. You can definitely just manifest whatever you want, but you just got to be careful with your manifesting, because like you can't just like halfway manifest and then just like think that it's just gonna come in, like because the universe, if you're confused, the universe will be confused as to what to do with you. Opening. I am open to receiving the gifts of the universe. I think this card is important because you could just, wherever you are at, no matter what you are going through, if you sit in silence with yourself, accept, and then just say that you want to begin to accept love and the lessons that you need. Opening. This is this card of opening. Like sit in that. Sit in, you can call it a prayer, you can call it a mantra or affirmation, and just say, I'm open to receiving love. I am open to receiving abundance in blank. But don't make it like you've already done what it takes to deserve it or receive it. Like you've always been deserving. It's just the excuse me. Well, like this purification